Tonight on our Patreon first edition of the Jay Leto Show, I will go in depth on WrestleMania 34, not only giving you my ideal match card and match order, but also giving you my predictions and some outside of the box scenarios for some of the major matches on this show. WrestleMania 34 is 1 week away as of this recording, and the show is absolutely stacked. Please enjoy this Patreon first edition of the Jay Leto Show right here on PWP Nation.
Execution is on top. There's a new gun in town. I made a vow to become a law enforcement officer. See these handcuffs right here? They're an instrument of justice. The big boss man is law, order, and justice of the World Wrestling Federation. Who will survive?
All right, everybody, here we go. I'm excited to get the show on the road. WrestleMania 34 live, April 8th, 2018, from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. My name is Jay Leto, and I am the owner of PWPNation.com, at PWP Nation on all social media platforms, baby. Check us out. And if you're listening to this first run on Patreon, you have no idea how happy I am that you're listening there. How just grateful I am to have you be donating to our site and to our cause here at PWP Nation. You are the lifeblood that keeps us going. So once again, thank you so much for your subscription at patreon.com/PWPNation. This podcast is only $1, so you're going to get your money's worth, man, because I'm going to give you guys in-depth analysis on what I think is going to go down at WrestleMania 34, including my match card. Now, in no way, shape, or form is this match card the official match card for WrestleMania. This is my match card. This is how I think the show should go down. And I kind of juggled it a little bit. I was going back and forth on a few matches. So there's a few plug and plays here that I just kind of said, you know what, F it. Let's just put it here. And just looking at it, I think I'm pretty happy. I think I'm pretty happy with the way I did things here. So let's kick it off here. And what's going to happen here on this podcast before I get really going, really into it, brother? I'm going to give you guys my card. Okay, I'm going to list it from 1 through 14. I'm counting 14 matches here. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to analyze each match from the beginning. And I hope you guys get your money's worth out of this. I do appreciate your support and everything that you do to keep PWPNation.com alive. And I'm promised to be way more consistent, guys. Way more consistent with these podcasts moving forward, because that's what we got to do, baby. So let's get this show on the road here. WrestleMania 34. Kicking the show off with Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. This is a pre-show match, probably going down at around 4:30, 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be the first match of the night. And basically, we're going to make this the first match because that was the first match last year. All right, Neville and Austin Aries were much bigger names. I'd reckon to say much bigger names than Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali, especially around the entire landscape of pro wrestling, not just the WWE. The Cruiserweight Championship hasn't really been built up to the point where it needs to be, and this will start the building up of the Cruiserweight Championship. So we're going to kick off the show with this big moment for both men. Second match of the night, akin to last year, Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I think this is perfect. I know it's parody, and I'm basically copying last year's card, but I think it was the perfect way to do it. You had your moment with Gronk last year and Mojo Rawley getting the win. Again, I think this Andre Battle Royal, we're probably going to have a lame duck winner of some sort, like Mojo kind of was, and maybe we'll have a big winner. Maybe we will. And again, it could easily be flip-flopped with the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, but I have that on the main card, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. So, second match of the night on the pre-show, Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal for the big, fat trophy to walk around with for a few weeks until everybody forgets about it. Match number 3, and guys, don't give me heat for this. Just remember that last year, Dean Ambrose was on the pre-show. Before you give me any kind of hard time about this, last year, Dean Ambrose was on the pre-show against Baron Corbin, defending the United States Championship. So this year, I think out of the remaining matches, and I'm counting 11 more matches here, Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax is definitely pre-show worthy. So give me Bliss versus Jax, match number 3 of the night, the pre-show. Now we're going to kick off the main card at, I believe it's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the main card kicks off. So we're going to go with the first match of the night. We're going to kick it off with a lot of excitement, big spots, big moments, and I believe it's going to be a TLC match, but we're going to go Usos versus New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers to kick off WrestleMania this year. Why are we doing it here? Because, guys, at the end of the day, when we look back at WrestleMania 34, this might be the match that steals the show. So we're going to kick that off. The SmackDown Tag Team Championships on the line there, kicking off WrestleMania. We're going to go match 5, second match on the main card. The Miz defending the Intercontinental Championship versus Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. All right, again, we're stacked with talent. Normally, I would want this match much later in the night, but I have it here for a reason. And that's because the card just has too much talent. Next match, we're going to go with Bryan and Shane McMahon versus KO and Sami Zayn. This has more to do with the fact of, you know, we're now 6 matches in. This is our 6th match of the night. We're probably extremely close to 8 o'clock, if not a little bit past 8 at this point with entrances and whatnot. So let's give the audience a chance to get really amped up, really jacked up for Daniel Bryan's return. Plus, you don't want to have Daniel Bryan's return overshadow other big moments on the card, since it's literally like a last-minute WrestleMania moment for Bryan here that was booked, 2 weeks ago. So Bryan, Shane versus KO, Sami Zayn's got to be number 6 in my mind here. 7th match of the night, 4th match on the main card. The United States title on the line. Orton versus Rude versus Jinder versus Rusev. Again, we have all these multi-man matches. Why not put those Intercontinental title match and U.S. title match, get them out of the way early in the night, cut them in half with Bryan and Shane versus KO and Sami, and we've got ourselves a hell of a card going now. 5th match of the main card, 8th match of the night. We're talking about AJ Styles defending the WWE Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. Guys, don't give me heat. Don't be mad at me here. There's only one match that should main event this show. At the end of the day, there's one match that needs to be on top. Number nine. If anybody knows what that is, hit me up on Twitter. Here we go. Cesaro and Sheamus versus Braun and a mystery opponent. Rumored to be Ambrose, maybe Big Show. That's going to be the 9th match of the night here. Now, I did this on purpose to spread out the tag team love a little bit. You know, we have the Usos to kick off the night. You got Bryan and Shane, another tag team match. You put 2 different matches in between that. You come back with Cesaro and Sheamus versus Braun and mystery partner. We just have a complete lack of single matches here, man. You know, I'd rather make the Battle Royal bigger and give us some more singles matches, because singles matches ultimately are what make WrestleMania classics. Now, you can't argue that there are some multi-man matches that have been considered straight up classics, straight up just amazing matches. You know, the WrestleMania 17 TLC match with the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian comes to mind. But, you know, putting AJ Styles and Shinsuke at number 8 in the middle of the show, to me, kind of kicks off the second half of the show here. That's what I'm thinking. You know, this is your main event of the first half of the show. You know, and again, you could switch it up. You could put it in the 7th spot if you want. But again, so I'm still dwelling on this a little bit. But okay, so 9, we're going Sheamus, Cesaro, Braun, and mystery opponent. Number 10, guys, Cena versus The Undertaker. Now, it's not officially booked here. But guys, I don't know about you, but I do not want this match on top of the card. I do not want this match to be the final match of the night. I don't believe that it's necessary, if this is Taker's final match, for him to go on last and walk out with kind of that same image that we had last year. I don't think we need to do that again, and I don't think they will do that again. So give me, at the 10 spot, Cena versus Taker. 11. We're going Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, guys. That's number 11 on the night. Number 12, the SmackDown Women's Championship on the line. Charlotte defending against Asuka. The streak on the line. Asuka's undefeated streak on the line. This is huge, okay? And as you notice, you know, I have Ronda Rousey on first before Charlotte and Asuka, okay? That might be an indication of what's to come in the next year. 13. We got 2 matches left, and this is going to be the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. Guys, don't give me heat for this, but this is kind of a bit of a bathroom break match. I'm sorry to say. Like, you know, you want to bring down the crowd. You want to cool everything down a little bit at some point in the night, and this would be it for me. We do have like almost an 8-hour show, so I'm sure there's going to be some stuff in here. I think Elias is probably going to do a live performance. You might be able to take Elias and put him on before the main event, which will be Brock Lesnar defending the Universal Championship against Roman Reigns. Guys, don't give me heat for this. Don't be mad about this, because it's the only match that makes sense to close the show. And again, it is Roman on top once again at WrestleMania, but he's your Hulk Hogan. You know, he's your John Cena of today. And you could do a lot of things creatively coming out of this match. So Brock and Roman's the main event. Again, the Women's Battle Royal that's going on 13 gets a really high spot on the card. And you could also move that around a little bit if you wanted to break up, you know, Sheamus, Cesaro versus Braun, and Cena versus Undertaker. You could do that. You could throw it between Cena and Undertaker, Ronda and Kurt against Triple H and Steph if you wanted. There's a lot of things you could do creatively here, but this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to have the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal on before the main event of Brock versus Roman. All right, so one more time, we'll recap here. First, kicking it off, Cedric versus Mustafa. At number 2 spot, Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Number 3, Bliss versus Jax. 4, to kick off the main card, Usos versus New Day versus Bludgeon Brothers. TLC match, hopefully. 5th, The Miz versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. 6, Bryan and Shane versus KO and Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, excuse me. 7, we've got Orton versus Rude versus Jinder Mahal versus Rusev Day. And I kind of think this might not be the right way to do it now that I look at it again, because you're going to have those crazy yes chants followed by the crazy Rusev Day chants. So there's always the possibility that I could be wrong here, that we could maybe flip-flop this a little bit, even have this match kick off the show, and then put the Usos in this spot. But at the end of the day, this is what I'm going with. And I'm trying to break up the tag team matches. All right, let's stop analyzing. Number 8, AJ versus Shinsuke, WWE Championship. Number 9, Cesaro and Sheamus versus Braun and mystery partner here. 10, Cena versus Undertaker. 11, Kurt and Ronda versus Trips and Stephanie. I wrote down Trips, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Charlotte versus Asuka in the 12th spot. The WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal in the 13th spot, and your main event, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. All right, guys, so that's the lineup here, my lineup for WrestleMania 34. And right after this song break, I'm going to come back with my predictions for the show. So I'll be right back. All right, we're back here, and that song gets me so pumped up for WrestleMania. It just reminds me of my childhood, man. It just reminds me of being a little kid and getting ready for WrestleMania, brother. So, I'm pumped up, guys. I don't know about you, but every single year, no matter what the card is, no matter what I agree with or disagree with, I am just stoked for WrestleMania. Once again, I'm Jay Aletto, and if you're listening to this on the first run on Patreon, thank you so much. Thank you. My gratitude, I hope, is coming over the airwaves here for you guys. So if you listen to the beginning of the show and you got my order of WrestleMania matches, now I'm going to break them down for you. And this is going to be the fun part. This is going to be the time where I'm going to take my time. I'm going to chill. I'm going to relax. And we're going to talk WrestleMania 34. Don't forget, guys, I am on Periscope. I am on YouTube. I am all over the place. So search me out at Jay Aletto, Twitch as well, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, all over the place. Kicking the show off here. Pre-show. I went with the format of last year, guys. I did it a little bit, not as... you look at all the star power, and who really deserves to be on the pre-show here? The Battle Royal even has some major players in it. We're looking at Matt Hardy, who might be one of the most over gimmicks, according to social media stats, in all the pro wrestling. I mean, at the end of the day, that Raw Ultimate Deletion match got a lot of play on social media. Vince McMahon was reportedly just amazed by it. But we're going to kick it off with Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. 205 Live has had a tournament running for the past month or so, a little over a month, to crown the new Cruiserweight Championship after what had taken place with Enzo Amore being fired from WWE because of his conduct and the rape allegations, all that stuff, withholding it from WWE. So Cedric versus Mustafa, they both have earned this spot big time over the past year. They both are great workers. They're fantastic in the ring. Cedric Alexander has been to that point of just about winning the championship time and time again, but always failing. I think this will be the night where he finally gets it done versus Mustafa Ali. All the credit in the world to Mustafa. He has put out some great promos. I don't know if you've been watching his promos, but we do tend to retweet them at PWP Nation on Twitter because they're just fire. They're unique. They're different. And in the Cruiserweight division, that's something that has been lacking since Enzo Amore has left, is the promo ability of some of these athletes. And Mustafa Ali has really stepped up to the plate and has improved his promos to the point where I didn't even know the guy could cut a promo. I didn't even know this guy could talk. And now I can see that he has major viability to be a player in the Cruiserweight division in the future, and hopefully someday, gets the call up to the heavyweight division. But right now, I'm going with Cedric Alexander to finally get it done and just get the nod here and just get the appreciation from WWE for putting on great matches for the past 2 years plus. So Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa, give me Cedric to be the new Cruiserweight champion. At this stage of the game, I got the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal in the 2 spot, and we don't have that many wrestlers announced for it at this, like where we're at now. And we're at April 1st here. We got Tyler Breeze, Fandango, Dolph Ziggler, Matt Hardy, Ty Dillinger, Mojo Rawley, Baron Corbin, and the Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. You have to assume that the majority of the roster is going to be in this match that isn't on the card. You'll probably see Zack Ryder in there. You'll see, Kurt Hawkins in there, probably Mike Kanellis. Bunch of wrestlers that we don't usually see on TV will be in this match, which is good for them. It gives them a nice little paycheck bump for WrestleMania. But looking at this lineup here, unless there's some kind of mystery entrant or somebody from NXT that they want to kind of run with to get the win here, like they did with Corbin in the past, I don't know. I'm looking at the winner probably being Matt Hardy. Like, I would probably put Matt Hardy over in this match just based on the fact that he is so incredibly over still with this delete gimmick, with this broken Matt Hardy gimmick, woken Matt Hardy, whatever you want to call him. The guy is over. And the fact that the social media numbers for the Ultimate Deletion were some of the biggest that WWE has seen in a long time, that's a telling tale. So, give me Matt Hardy now. Just looking at this roster of people that are going to be in the match, give me Matt Hardy. Look at this, man. I'm going to get in trouble for this by Alexa Bliss fans, because Alexa Bliss fans are extremely passionate about her, and for good reason too. Alexa Bliss is smoking hot, and she's a fantastic athlete. And she seems awesome as shit too, man. I follow her on social media. She just seems like a cool girl. So good for Alexa Bliss. Still walking into WrestleMania as the champion, second year in a row, walking into WrestleMania as the women's champion. But unfortunately, I think this is going to be Nia Jax's night to become the Raw Women's Champion. There's a lot of speculation. Even I speculated that Carmella might try to cash in her Money in the Bank briefcase here, even though it's the SmackDown version. Maybe there's a loophole where she could cash in on the Raw Women's Champion. I don't know. I thought maybe that would be a good out for this match. But if that's going to go down, it has to happen on the main show. But if it's on the pre-show, give me Nia Jax to get her little WrestleMania moment. Big WrestleMania moment for her, but on the pre-show kind of sucks. So we kick off the main show with a bang. You get the Nia Jax title win. Everybody's excited, pumped up. You do some kind of video packages, and then you kick off the main show. And I'm kicking it off with the Usos versus the New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers. TLC match, hopefully. SmackDown Tag Team Championships on the line. This is based on the fact that the Usos said that they've never been on WrestleMania. They've never had a match on WrestleMania, only on the pre-show. So, to me, it's a no-brainer to get them on the card. New Day's got to be on the card. What better way to kick off WrestleMania than the New Day kicking it off with their, New Orleans, don't you dare be sour. They could do some funny stuff. I'm sure they're going to have a great entrance of some sort. So, let's kick it off with this entertaining match. Usos, New Day, Bludgeon Brothers. TLC match. I got to give the win to the Usos here to retain the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships because they've had such a good run. They've had such an incredible run with the titles. There's an argument that the New Day might be able to win this match, and they're super over, and they're more mainstream than the Usos are. But if I'm booking it, if I want it to go down the way I want it to go down, I'm making the Usos retain the tag titles. Now, if they lose the tag titles here, if the New Day win, or if the Bludgeon Brothers win, which is a real possibility, guys. It's a real possibility that Luke Harper and Eric Rowan walk out of WrestleMania as tag team champions. I expect the Usos to be moved to Raw within the month. And there'll probably be a superstar shakeup sometime in April. If not in April, then definitely in May. I think we're due for one. I expect if the Usos do not win the tag titles, or retain the tag titles, I expect them to move to Raw. But I'm picking them to win. So give me the Usos with the win here and bring the Revival later over to SmackDown to feud with the Usos. My fifth match of the night, second match on the main card, The Miz defending the Intercontinental Championship versus Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Look, I think it's evident that The Miz is probably going to go home to take care of his baby for a little while. I think that's the right thing to do. You could probably have him the next night on Raw, do something, but then, let him take some time off. Let him go home, hang out with his wife and his newborn, and then bring him back and put the Intercontinental Championship back on him at that point. I'd love to see The Miz retain and become the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in WWE history, and that is absolutely a possibility here. That is an absolute possibility. However, and I believe there was some kind of silly spoiler that came out somewhere that said Seth Rollins was going to become the Intercontinental Champion somehow. I might be wrong on this. I think I heard it at some point. But if I'm booking it, I'm giving this win to Finn Balor. The guy needs a big win. Finn Balor needs a win. He hasn't had a marquee win on pay-per-view aside from Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam, but what really, nobody really cared about that feud. Nobody really cared about it at the time. And Finn Balor, he hasn't built that momentum that is needed. He needs to get this win here. Since his Universal Championship win, and defending it against Seth Rollins and all that stuff, Finn Balor he hasn't, his injury came back. He hasn't really got anything going. So give him the IC title here. Let me get Finn Balor. I'm sure he's going to have some crazy entrance too with the demon gimmick is definitely coming to WrestleMania. So give me Finn Balor for the win. And if not, give me The Miz and then Seth Rollins third. Because I think Seth Rollins is above the IC title, honestly. I think Seth Rollins is a world title contender all day. And I would move him, again, if he doesn't win the IC title here, I'm moving him swiftly over to SmackDown at some point in the near future. I don't think we're worried about the Shield stuff anymore. I think that has become a distant memory, and you could always go back to it in the future. But right now, we had all these injuries and weird circumstances with that Shield reunion, kind of screwed it all up. Get them separated again. Move Seth over to SmackDown if he doesn't win the IC title here. My sixth match of the night, third match on the main card, we've got Daniel Bryan, returning to the ring. Guys, and don't tell me this is low on the card, because I don't think it really is. I think being the sixth overall match, third match on the main card, it's kind of like a main event in its own right. At this stage of the game, we're looking at just about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A lot of people are going to turn on WrestleMania at this time. A lot of people are going to start watching the show at 8 p.m. just because, notoriously, for years, the pre-show ended at 8 and the show kicked off at 8 o'clock. So give me Bryan to kick off this 8 o'clock hour. And we might be past 8 by this point. But give me Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Bearing any weirdness here, I know KO and Sami are going to probably lose. Daniel Bryan, unless there's some kind of heel turn where Shane McMahon turns on Bryan and somehow joins up with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn with a, if you can't beat him, join him type of angle. Which I don't want to happen. I don't think should happen. At this point anyway. They've done enough damage to Shane. But if it does, it's something I called for months ago. Because Shane McMahon as a heel against Daniel Bryan as a babyface is the only way this should have gone from the beginning. And I would have kept Shane McMahon as commissioner. I would have kept Bryan as GM. And I would have had Shane McMahon fire Daniel Bryan. Don't have him fire KO and Sami Zayn. Have him fire Bryan. That would be kind of cool. That would be a huge swerve in the night. However, this is Bryan's return match. He's been on the shelf for 2 years. There's no way he's going to lose this match. I doubt he's going to lose this match. So while I'm torn, my creative juices want to see a swerve here and want to see Shane McMahon team up with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, become their, not manager, but, make them the chosen one for Shane McMahon here. That's where my creative instincts tell me to go. But my booking, if I'm booking this, doing wrestling booking, I'm going with Bryan over here. So Bryan and Shane go over Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. They become fired from SmackDown permanently and show up on Raw the next night. And I think they should be a tag team moving forward. I really do. And you add them to the tag division on Monday Night Raw, and you're looking at something fresh, something different, especially with what might happen in the tag team division later in the show here. So we're moving on there. I'm officially going on the record saying Daniel Bryan and Shane are going to win. The seventh match of the night and the fourth match on the main card, the United States Championship will be on the line as Randy Orton will defend against Bobby Roode. Glorious! No, I won't give in till I'm victorious. Bobby Roode versus the modern day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal, who I am a huge mark for, versus Rusev. Fatal 4-way match. Now, at this point, I mentioned earlier in the show, now WrestleMania is fun with these multi-man matches because you can literally go in many different directions here. Like I said in the triple threat tag team match, you can go in a weird different direction. You can make the Bludgeon Brothers tag team titles, the tag team champions, and they can change the face of SmackDown. You can put the IC title on Finn Balor. That changes up Raw big time. In this match, I would reward a huge reward to Rusev for getting the Rusev Day gimmick over and selling this amount of merchandise. Give me Rusev for the win. Give me Rusev for the win, tapping out Jinder Mahal to the Accolade at some point during the match where Bobby Roode and Randy Orton have like brawled somewhere. You could even pull Bobby Roode just laying out Orton with a chair at ringside, something like that, to keep them occupied while Rusev taps out Jinder. Rusev Day reigns supreme. The new United States champion at WrestleMania needs to be Rusev. And again, this is WrestleMania, guys. So you're looking for that WrestleMania moment. Rusev needs one. And Roode has next year. I think Roode's WrestleMania moment will come as a heel at some point in the future. Jinder Mahal had his WrestleMania moment last year with Gronk. But I think he's got a big one in the future for sure. And Orton's had countless WrestleMania moments. So Rusev right here, man. Give me Rusev, United States Championship. Win at WrestleMania and a big reward for getting Rusev Day over and selling an ungodly amount of Rusev Day t-shirts. Like, I don't have one, but I should have one because he's the most over guy in the company right now. Aside from maybe Daniel Bryan. I mean, that shouldn't count, though. Now, this is where I'm probably going to get a hard time from some of you fans out there. And if you are listening on Patreon, thank you once again. And please feel free to give me all the shit you want. But I am not happy with the build-up for the WWE Championship match, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm not happy with it. I think it's been rather lazy by WWE to book it the way they have been. Imagine WWE booking Hulk Hogan versus Randy Savage the way they booked AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I know it's a dream match. I know they're just relying on that to sell it, and the match itself is going to be fantastic, no question. But imagine them booking Hogan versus Savage this way, or Austin versus The Rock this way, or many other major big league WrestleMania main events. Austin versus Shawn Michaels. Even Triple H versus Randy Orton, WrestleMania 25, had so much more heat than this. Your feud is basically AJ Styles and Shinsuke walking up to each other backstage, and Shinsuke just saying, "Need to face." And that's it. We saw a little bit of mind games go down this past week on SmackDown Live, and we've got one more episode to go. So maybe something big will happen. Maybe AJ Styles will get that moment over Shinsuke, hit him with the Styles Clash or something in the ring. But, Shinsuke won the Royal Rumble. I thought we'd have more heat than this. So that's why I put this match so low in the card. And basically at this stage of the game, I'm looking at, 8 o'clock, Bryan and Shane, Orton, Roode, Jinder, Rusev. You could even throw an Elias performance in before this WWE title match if you want. Or throw some other kind of wrestling legend type of segment in here. You could do many things to kind of give the show a little bit of a break before you go into AJ versus Shinsuke. But you're looking at around 9 o'clock for AJ versus Shinsuke here. So give me this to kick off the 9 o'clock hour. And give me Shinsuke Nakamura with the win and becoming the new WWE champion. Once again, as much as AJ Styles deserves to successfully defend the WWE championship at WrestleMania, guys, Shinsuke Nakamura, lost his championship match at SummerSlam. Are you really going to have him lose his championship match at WrestleMania? Are you really going to have him lose another chance at the WWE title? Look, I know he lost to Jinder Mahal multiple times, and that was just a part of the Jinder Mahal experiment, which now I have it come around to admit that it was an experiment to get the Indian market over, which it didn't do this time. But believe me, guys, if you fucking think that this isn't an experiment that they will try again, you're sadly mistaken. Because you know how many fucking people are in India? Okay, WWE is going to go back to the well here. So give me Shinsuke with the win because he needs the win. Because he needs it. And you can go multiple ways again with this. I have a feeling that if AJ Styles drops the WWE title here, he's moving over to Raw. So, and maybe in exchange for Rollins, and then you can go with Shinsuke Nakamura versus Seth Rollins. Moving forward into 2018, I think that would be a really cool match to see. And I really do think that you need to get somehow, some way AJ Styles and Samoa Joe on the same brand and have that match play out. So, Nakamura winning the WWE Championship here, huge moment, and another title change at WrestleMania. And again, we're pushing the reset button here a lot of the time. So, next match here, now you see here, I gave the number 9 spot and the 6th match on the main card to Cesaro and Sheamus defending the Raw Tag Team titles versus Braun Strowman and mystery partner, insert partner here. Rumors are Dean Ambrose might be ready to go, but there were other rumors that broke the other day that he was down in Alabama, Birmingham, baby, with Dr. James Andrews getting that torn, tricep? Torn bicep? Shoulder? I can't remember what he hurt. Hurt shoulder, something like that. Getting it evaluated further, and he might not be ready. He might have had a setback at some point. So maybe, I think Ambrose being the mystery partner would be cool. It gives him kind of a WrestleMania moment here after working the pre-show last year. So if he's available, bring him back. And also it continues his feud with Sheamus and Cesaro that was going on for the majority of 2017. So listen, give me Ambrose as a mystery partner. Big Show maybe as a backup plan if Ambrose can't go. And then your pipe dream is Hulk Hogan being the mystery partner. That would be my pipe dream here. I don't think that's going to happen. But either way, Braun Strowman and mystery partner take the tag titles here. I don't think Braun is going to miss out on this WrestleMania moment this year. Last year, he was in the Battle Royal. And he lost the Battle Royal. So he's not going to miss out on this one. Moving on here. Now, this is where we're getting a little squirrely. We're down to the final 5 matches, yeah. Number 10 on the night, and I have it as your 7th main card match. And this throws my theory of pacing this show for the top of the hour kind of out the window, but it also kind of doesn't. We're looking at around 10 p.m. here. Is WrestleMania going to run till midnight? Is fucking WrestleMania going to run till midnight, guys? I'm trying to time this show out, man. And this show, I think some of these matches are going to be extremely quick. I think Miz, Seth, and Finn might be really fast. Same with Orton, Rude, Jinder, and Rusev. I think that might be fast too. I think Braun Strowman will be quick as well. But this match is going to need some time. John Cena versus The Undertaker. And this is definitely going down. Don't make any mistake about it. WWE would not go to these lengths to tease The Undertaker if he's not coming back for this match. Additionally, and I know I'm just kind of getting into this personal branding thing now, but I've maintained my stance throughout 2017 into 2018 that The Undertaker has never retired. Okay? WWE will make it known when The Undertaker is ready to hang it up. And he ain't ready yet, guys. He's not ready. He had the hip surgery. I heard from many accounts, I believe Jim Ross maybe? Jerry the King Lawler possibly. I think JBL might have made a statement as well, possibly Bruce Pritchard. People were saying that Undertaker was running around the ring at SummerSlam this past year in Brooklyn, bouncing off the ropes, jumping up and down, working out the hip, doing all kinds of good stuff. So I think at the end of the day, Undertaker's ready to go after having a year off, resting, training, relaxing, working out with his hot wife. And Cena has been goading him on. Also, The Undertaker, they're not going to retire Taker without telling us about it and not making it explicitly known that he is done. There's not going to be a mystery around The Undertaker's career ending. Okay, WWE is going to monetize it for all it's worth, as you saw last year with the Thank You Taker t-shirts that came out. Cena versus Taker is a tough one on who's going to win. Cena has trashed Undertaker. Has trashed him for the past 4 weeks, I believe. And we have one more Raw to go as of when this show is dropping. And guys, Raw probably is already happening if you're listening to this now. Raw has probably already happened. But I don't know if Undertaker is going to come out on Raw to confront Cena or he's going to make his first return appearance at WrestleMania. But until further notice, until Undertaker loses 2 years in a row at WrestleMania, give me The Undertaker for the win here, okay? Give me The Undertaker for a win. Guys, there were some matches over the past few years that I think were unnecessary. I think the Hell in a Cell match with Shane McMahon was completely unnecessary for The Undertaker to do at WrestleMania. Just unnecessary. It wasn't worth it. But his match with Bray Wyatt was cool, good enough. This match with Roman Reigns was, a lot of people thought he was slow and it was sluggish and didn't look well, but how much of that can you blame on Roman? I don't know. But Cena here, I'm sure they have this match planned out well. Cena will do everything he can to protect the dead man. So give me The Undertaker with the win. Give me Undertaker with the win over Cena here. I don't see any reason why Cena needs this win, and Undertaker is just going to kind of preserve his legacy with a win here and kind of just tell everybody, yo, listen, man, I ain't done. Give me Undertaker with the win. In the 11th spot. And again, between these two matches, you can easily put the Women's Battle Royal here at the 11th spot. But I'm going to go with Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. You could also put in something to kind of cool the crowd down, maybe the live band performance or something like that. WrestleMania always seems to have some kind of weird band performance of some sort, so maybe you can do that. Or maybe they'll have some crazy entrances for Triple H that'll be long enough to kind of give us a breather. But Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H, Stephanie McMahon. At the end of the day, there's no way Ronda Rousey is losing her debut in WWE unless there's some kind of crazy swerve ski that goes down. But I think she's going to tap out Stephanie McMahon rather quickly to her patented armbar. And that's the only way to do it. Flip her onto her back with some kind of crazy judo throw, transition quickly into the armbar, and if I'm WWE, I'm milking Stephanie McMahon's injury here. I'm milking her selling it. I'm having her come out the next night on Raw in a sling, maybe even a cast, saying that Ronda Rousey is dangerous, saying Ronda Rousey broke Stephanie's arm, saying that Ronda Rousey it might be fired because of this, doing everything she can to just incite this Raw after WrestleMania crowd. So give me Stephanie getting her arm shattered by Ronda Rousey. Kurt and Ronda win. I expect Kurt Angle and Triple H to put on most of this match and have the meticulously laid out spots with Ronda Rousey and Stephanie go down at the points where they need to go down. But Ronda Rousey will walk out of this WrestleMania with a W, excuse me. The next match, and I did this for a reason. I put these women's matches towards the end of the show because, let's face it, guys, the women's revolution is real. WWE is hell-bent. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's absolutely a good thing. As long as we even it out a little bit in the future, maybe in the coming year kind of levels out. Maybe next year kind of levels out again a little bit. But I think the focus on women's wrestling needs to be really prevalent this year because the early rumor is that there's going to be a women's championship match closing WrestleMania next year. So I have Charlotte defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Asuka here in the 12 spot. And the streak is on the line. There's always that possibility that Carmella has her Money in the Bank briefcase, that there could be a cash-in here, which would be fun. But I also think that we need maybe and guys, I'm actually, while I'm recording this right here, I'm actually having preservations about how I did this, but give me Charlotte versus Asuka here. Give me Asuka with the win, becoming the new SmackDown Live Women's Champion. And, now we have a question on what she's going to do. Now she's the SmackDown Live Women's Champion. She's a Raw brand talent. What happens? Find out tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. I would have Asuka come out with a SmackDown Women's Championship too and challenge new Raw Women's Champion, Nia Jax on the Raw after Mania. And then maybe have Carmella cash in. That would be crazy, huh? But I have the Women's Battle Royal next on the show, and I'm probably going to do this on the fly here and move the Women's Battle Royal back to the center of the show between the United States Championship match and the WWE title match. So I'm moving this to the 8th spot, I think. And I'm putting the Elias performance before the main event because I have a feeling The Rock might be involved, and that would kind of... that's going to continue to just build that momentum towards the end of WrestleMania, make it just more epic. Cena versus Taker, Ronda Rousey, Stephanie McMahon, Charlotte, Asuka, Elias performance, maybe The Rock coming out to interrupt him or something. But the Women's Battle Royal, we're going to leave here for now just for the sake of it because I haven't spoken about it yet. but I'm actually moving it to the center of the card. So I'm going to put this all on paper for you guys too, with an article on PWPNation.com in the future after this first run. Patreon kind of runs its course for a little less than a week. So before WrestleMania, this will be on paper on PWPNation.com. All right, so the Women's Battle Royal, the main story going into this is Sasha Banks and Bayley. And a lot of people believe it should be a singles match, as do I. So we're looking at the current entrants for the Women's Battle Royal, and I got to say that the majority of the talent on SmackDown, Raw, and NXT will be in this match. Barring an NXT superstar winning, which is possible. Don't sleep on Kairi Sane here, okay? Don't sleep on, Ember Moon in this match. However, I got to go with Sasha Banks to win the Women's Battle Royal. Look, guys, she is turning heel. It's kind of being drawn out. She's not officially a heel. I don't know what their reservations are with turning Sasha Banks heel. She should be a full-blown heel. The boss character needs to be a heel. Sasha Banks needs to be heel. And this Women's Battle Royal is how you get there. Give her the win. Let her have her first of what should be many WrestleMania moments. And give her the trophy. The trophy that's it's hilarious. Guys, if you haven't seen this, if you're listening now, go look at the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal trophy. It looks like a vagina. I'm not kidding. It does. So Sasha Banks wins this one. And her story with Bayley continues to play out into the future. Now this is where it gets interesting. The main event of the night, which most of you don't agree on probably. And I'm sure a majority of the IWC believes that AJ Styles versus Shinsuke should close the show just because it's going to be the best match, and it's the WWE title, and it's the Royal Rumble winner, and all that stuff, but the feud has sucked. This Brock Lesnar-Roman Reigns feud, as kind of oddly, not even oddly, I mean, this is WWE 101. They've pushed the sympathy card on Roman so hard, and it's so obvious that we just all understand what's going to go down here. Roman Reigns is going to win this match. And he's going to become the Universal Champion. Brock Lesnar has made it no secret that he's going back to the UFC. However, will his working relationship with WWE continue? And I think it will, personally. I think Brock just wants to compete in the UFC again before he gets too old to. Before he gets too old and out of shape, because that time is coming, guys. That time for Brock Lesnar is coming. It's not here yet. So let's not rush Brock Lesnar away, because in due time, he'll be done. So Brock versus Roman is going to be fun, man. I think this is going to be really good, honestly. I think it's going to be hard-hitting, fast-paced. We're going to get kind of a mix of their WrestleMania 31 match and Brock's match with Goldberg last year, where it's going to get kicked off real quick with high spots and high spots and high spots, but it's going to go down for a little bit longer. There's a lot of speculation and rumors that Paul Heyman might be turning on Brock here. Now, I've already established I think Roman's going to win. But this is my idea, and this is the reason why you guys spent $1 on Patreon to listen to this. Roman Reigns, while he needs to win the match, I would do something completely outside the box and different. Look, we now know that Bobby Lashley is coming to WWE. This is confirmed by many sources that he is coming to WWE. The popular choice, the popular decision would be to re-debut Bobby Lashley on the Raw after WrestleMania. That's the popular decision. However, I don't always go with the popular decision. I go a little bit outside the box. If it's me, I'm starting my next feud for Lesnar right here, right now, at WrestleMania. Okay? That's how I'm starting my next Brock Lesnar feud, my next Brock Lesnar angle. And as uncharacteristic as it would be for this to go down in the WrestleMania main event, I think it makes perfect sense. And I think it keeps the heat on Roman because obviously, they don't want heat on Roman. But what you do want is Roman Reigns to become the WWE Universal Champion. And you don't want, him to get completely booed out of the building. So what you do is you bring Bobby Lashley in here to attack Brock Lesnar. All right. And then you find out that Paul Heyman actually aligned himself with Bobby Lashley. Paul Heyman is now the advocate for Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley comes in, destroys Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns gets the win. Roman ends WrestleMania on top. We have questions to be answered tomorrow night on Raw. I'm going to continue this story right here, guys. The next night on Raw, Brock Lesnar, no longer Universal Champion. A contract rumored to be complete. But he's pissed, okay? He's pissed off. And this is where we're going to open the creative book and get a little crazy, get a little wild, baby. Brock Lesnar opens Raw, furious, pissed off. Nobody knows what he's going to do. Calls out Lashley, calls out Heyman. Okay? Heyman and Lashley walk out onto the ramp. Paul Heyman explains to Brock Lesnar why he did what he did and how Bobby Lashley is the destroyer. And he has destroyed the conqueror. Brock Lesnar is done. What you're doing here is you're doing two things, right? And if WWE really wanted to get crazy with this, if they really wanted to make sure that this is as real as possible, you're not only building towards a Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley match down the road in WWE, you could also build towards a Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley fight in the UFC. And tell me WWE would not want to be a part of that payday if UFC put that fight on pay-per-view. Okay? That's going to be $1 million plus buys. I would reckon to say that if the card is big enough, Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley with a crazy undercard could be the biggest UFC pay-per-view event of all time. Okay? Kiss your record goodbye, Conor McGregor. Give me Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley as a UFC fight on pay-per-view. And you could also do it in the WWE. So you have Lashley get the best of Lesnar at WrestleMania. Then you could have their UFC fight at some point. Okay? And this is a real fight. This is real. This is real life shit. Okay? Whoever wins that fight, that's how you dictate the next part of the story in WWE. And the fight's real, okay? The fight is fucking real. But you can build a fictional story around the result of the fight, baby. Tell me this isn't a money idea. If you tell me this isn't a money idea, you're wrong, because they would fucking be swimming in money like Scrooge McDuck if they went this route. Okay? And in the meantime, while Brock Lesnar goes back to the UFC, and maybe he has a tune-up fight first before you do this fight with Lashley. Maybe he goes in there and fights, I doubt he's going to fight Miocic when he comes in, but goes in there, maybe fights a Francis Ngannou, maybe fights somebody that he can overpower with his wrestling to kind of make it, give him a win in the UFC. Or just go with him versus Lashley in the UFC and make it a gigantic payday. I don't know, man. I just think the story makes sense. You move Paul Heyman away from Brock Lesnar, you put him with Lashley, and now you can have Lashley go after Roman. You got Lashley versus Roman. Or you could have Lashley go after Braun Strowman or John Cena or whoever. You have the destroyer Bobby Lashley on the roster now, and he's obviously going to be a title competitor, a challenger for the title. So there we go. There you have it. That is my WrestleMania 34 card and predictions for the night, including some outside the box scenarios, some predictions for the future on where I would move people and how I would structure the card moving forward. Guys, when it comes down to it, there's going to be a superstar shakeup, and a number of these wrestlers could move brands. I mean, Daniel Bryan could essentially move over to Raw, but I think making him the face of SmackDown is a smart thing to do at this stage of the game. So here we go. We're just going to go down it real quick. What I think is going to happen here. Cedric over Mustafa. Matt Hardy, the winner of the Andre Battle Royal. Unless something crazy goes down, guys. Let's make a Matt Hardy for now. Nia Jax wins the Raw Women's Championship. There's your pre-show. I'm picking the Usos to retain the titles. I'm picking Finn Balor, new IC champion. Bryan and Shane getting the win. Let's make Rusev the new US champion. Shinsuke Nakamura, new WWE champion. Braun Strowman and partner winning the tag team titles from Cesaro and Sheamus. And guys, you can always go back to Cesaro and Sheamus basically right away. Even the next night if you wanted to. Undertaker over Cena. Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey over Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Asuka over Charlotte. Women's Battle Royal, Sasha Banks, and we're going Roman Reigns, the new Universal Champion. Guys, once again, thank you so much for listening to this. If you're listening to this first time on Periscope, on Patreon, first time on Patreon, I am super grateful. I am freaking excited for the future of PWPNation.com. Thank you once again. If you're listening on any other social media outlet or any other outlet there is, thank you for your support, for your love, for your kindness. My name is Jay Leto, signing off here. Check us out at PWPNation.com. Follow me on all social media outlets at Jay Leto, and I will talk to you guys later. Oh yeah, make sure guys. Make sure you check out Periscope each Monday night and Tuesday night after Raw and SmackDown, respectively, after all WWE pay-per-view events, sometimes randomly doing video game chats, whatever the case may be. Check me out on Periscope at Jay Leto and on twitch.tv/Jay Leto. We are kicking ass in 2018, and we're moving forward and doing big things into the future. Guys, I will talk to you later. Enjoy WrestleMania 34.
Hi, Yokozuna. Issue your challenge. If any intestinal fortitude, you would accept my Yokozuna's challenge. Come on! Come on, you yellow belly, come on!
So Fuji says his Yokozuna's issuing a challenge to Hulk Hogan. But Hogan is more concerned with helping his friend Bret Hart.
We need one more sentence. We will put on heavyweight belt on the line right now.
He says, Fuji says they'll put the title on the line right now.
Come on. Let's go. You got any guts? Let's do it. Come on.
Mr. Fuji has said that they will put the title on the line right now against the Hulkster.
You're good.
Look at Bret's telling him to go. Go get him. Logan. Do the challenge.
Bret Hart's telling Hulk to go for it. He said go for it, big man. Hulk Hogan's in the ring.
Ding.
The crowd wants him to go for it, but then Fuji reaching back into his kimono there, and it's got more than salt or whatever all in the eyes of Yokozuna. Hogan knocks Fuji down. Hogan with close down, and down goes Yokozuna. Hogan, that's all. Hogan to the cover.
No.
Hooks the leg. And Hogan. By the time.
Believe this.
Hogan.
What's going on here?
Hulk Hogan has won the title.
The winner of this bout.
Listen to this crowd.
World Wrestling Federation champion.
Hulk Hogan's the new champion.
Yokozuna had the title for 3 minutes. Is that what you told me?
Hulk Hogan has won the title. Hulk Hogan has won the title for the 5th time. What a startling, dynamic. He can't believe the belt.
Hulk Hogan is a champion. Hogan is a champion. I cannot believe this.
Over 16,000 here.
For the 5th time, Hulk Hogan has become champion. Not the mess with Mother Nature.
Hulk Hogan has done it. Hogan, with a blessing of Bret Hart, accepted the challenge. Fuji tried to go for the salt right in Hogan's face, but he avoided it. It hit Yokozuna, and the Hulkster took over.
A new World Wrestling Federation champion twice over. Yokozuna and now Hulk Hogan